If the old-fashioned taught America how to drink whiskey, the whiskey sour taught bartenders how to balance it.
And then at some point, civilization took a hard turn and somebody invented sour mix in a plastic bottle.
Yeah, that was the fall. This right here, this episode is the restoration.
We're taking the whiskey sour back from chain restaurants, sticky menus, and neon liquid that glows with the confidence of antifreeze.
Because a real whiskey sour is one of the great classic whiskey drinks. It's not complicated, it's not fussy. Just structure, balance, and honesty in the glass.
Which incidentally is just how we like things here at Stave and Slide.
Sure is. Today, we're making the whiskey sour. So stay tuned right here at the bar with Stave and Slide. So the sour is one of the oldest drink templates in the world.
That's right.
Long before cocktail books, people were combining spirits, citrus, and sugar because that formula simply works. Sailors were doing versions of it centuries ago, primarily to prevent scurvy, of course, but it tasted good as well. So the whiskey sour gets formally codified in 1862 by the Professor Jerry Thomas in his preeminent cocktail book, How to Mix Drinks, or the Bon Vivant's Companion.
Yeah, that's a bartender history for eventually somebody finally wrote it down.
Yeah, and thank God that they did.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the sour so brutally revealing. In a stirred drink, whiskey can kind of hide behind bitters, vermouth, amaro, and dilution. In a sour, there's nowhere to hide. If you have bad citrus, bad balance, weak shaking, cheap sweeteners, you're going to taste every mistake.
Yeah, it's the acoustic set of cocktails. No place to hide, no distortion pedal, and everybody finds out whether you can actually play.
Yeah, that's exactly right, because at its core, the whiskey sour is just spirits, citrus, and sugar, right?
Yeah.
But inside that structure, every decision matters. Fresh lemon juice versus bottled, rich syrup versus standard, bourbon with soft caramel notes versus a higher rye, bourbon with more spice. Tiny choices, big results.
So this is one of those drinks that looks easy right up front until somebody makes a bad one.
Yeah, which happens constantly. And I like to say that I think the whiskey sour is like the cocktail to really be able to tell the difference between kind of cheap, poorly, quickly made cocktails with poor ingredients and one made the right way. You have that two versions side by side, and you can immediately tell, wow, this is what making a classic cocktail the right way with the right ingredients that are fresh actually tastes like. You can taste the difference. So let's go ahead and taste that difference right now. Let's build the whiskey sour.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay. I'm gonna drink my whiskey sour.
You have one already made right here, so like the great cooking shows, we've already prepared one ahead of time so that you can enjoy it while I make it. We're gonna use today our elevated craft shaker. Love this shaker, especially for making sour drinks. Yeah. And you'll find out why in a moment. But it's vacuum sealed, it's double wall insulated. It's great. And it really works well in a whiskey sour.
Yeah.
So
we're
gonna start with lemon juice.
We're gonna start with lemon juice. 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice, fresh lemon juice. You're gonna watch Dan here is gonna go ahead and squeeze. We already have the lemon.
Just cut these up.
Yeah. So lemon juice starts losing its brightness fast, and bottle juice has a flat, almost cooked acidity that makes the whole drink taste lifeless. So if it came out of a plastic lemon, we're no longer making a cocktail, we're making a regrettable decision.
Yeah, we don't do that here at Stave and Slide.
Yeah.
Well, our wives would beg to differ.
Well, that's a different story.
It's a whole different story.
Yeah, so next,
3/4 of an ounce of that lemon juice right there.
Yep. And then next, we're doing 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup. We, again, prefer to make our own fresh syrups. If you opt for a bottled syrup, there are a lot of good ones out there. We particularly are fond of
Liber & Co.
Liber & Co.
Yeah, they make a good quality product.
Yeah, there's several out there. Just don't buy the cheap one in the plastic bottle in the liquor store shelf. For a classic sour, this simple syrup gives this clean sweetness without adding extra flavor. If you want the whiskey to be the star, the simple syrup is hard to beat. The sugar's job here is not to make the drink sweet, but to keep the lemon from assaulting the bourbon.
Yeah, that sweetness in a sour is structural. It's not dessert. It's balance. Next up is the bourbon, 2 ounces.
Yeah, for this, for the sour in particular, we like a bourbon with enough proof and character to stand up to the citrus. Something that's usually around 90 to 100 proof works beautifully because the whiskey still speaks clearly after shaking and dilution.
Yep.
For this one, we're using Maker's Mark 101. If you use a timid bourbon, I guess you could say the lemon gets custody of the kids. Right?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Next up is our final ingredient, and one that for us in a sour is non-negotiable, and that's an egg white. We love an egg white in a cocktail whiskey sour because it adds that texture, that mouthfeel. It just gives it that richness, that frothiness. It's so good, so delicious. Now, if we're making a whiskey sour to sit outside on the back porch on a summer day, then usually we're not going to put an egg white in there. Yeah. We prefer here at Stave and Slide to do a split base citrus of orange and lemon over ice. No egg white. It's so crisp and refreshing. But for a true whiskey sour that we're making to have here for cocktail hour, we love the egg white. It adds great texture, and it's so nice.
Yeah, so for the modern version, egg white. About 3/4 of an ounce or 1 small egg. It doesn't make the drink taste like egg, though you might get a little bit of an egg odor that we're going to address later in making the show of the drink. But what it does, as Dan said, is it changes the texture, softens the edges, and really gives it some body and a nice, dense, silky foam on top.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah. So
we're going to go ahead and dry shake this first, right? Dry shaking means that we're going to shake this cocktail without any ice first, and that's going to help emulsify the egg white proteins. It's going to help give us that nice frothy, foamy texture that we want, and that's why this shaker here, this Elevated Craft, is so good for that, because it keeps everything sealed, everything intact. It doesn't separate on you, which can happen in a Boston shaker or a cobbler type. One little note that we like to do here at home, it's a trick, is that we like to maybe hit this with a frother, like a coffee frother.
That's just going to help build that foam. Another thing that helps get you a good quality foam is don't take your eggs or your carton of egg whites, if that's what you happen to have, directly out of the refrigerator and go directly into your cocktail. Give it a little time to come up closer to room temperature, and a slightly warmer egg white is going to froth a little bit better.
Just a little home trick. Oh, I need to add some ice.
So Dan is using 1 large cube and a few loose, smaller cubes. That's just going to help, again, chill and dilute, but also help with the aeration and the foaming of the egg. Now, you're not just making this cold. You're integrating the citrus, the sugar, the whiskey, the air, and texture into one drink. Proper shaking is part of the recipe, so don't shake it like you're afraid to wake the neighbors. Give it a good, vigorous shake, both as a dry shake and with the ice as a wet shake.
Right. Then we're going to double strain this.
Now what you should see as Dan pours this and it begins to settle, it's pretty creamy and almost like a milky color. But as it settles and that foam rises to the top, you should see a nice thick foam cap, and that tells you the drink was built correctly and shaken like it matters. Now for garnish, a few drops of Angostura bitters on the foam if you'd like, and keep it simple. That's what the whiskey sour is. It's simple. The purpose of the bitter drops on the top, aside from it gives it a nice little fancy decorative look, is it addresses that slight egg smell that we talked about earlier. The Angostura bitters sit on top of the foam. They don't sink down into the drink. So when you go to take a taste, and if you get a little smell, you're going to smell mostly the Angostura and not that egg.
Yep, breaks that up a little bit.
Yep.
And that is the whiskey sour.
Yeah. And as I said, I've been
You've got one. I'm going to go ahead and taste this one.
Delicious, yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, the difference is immediate, right? Between this and just
something you get at TGI Fridays.
Yeah. It's bright, but it's not sharp. It's sweet, but it's not candy-like. And the bourbon, I think, still leads. Is predominant.
Yeah.
It is the most forward flavor note that you pick up. I think the foam just brings it all together, gives that great texture.
It does. That texture, that mouthfeel, it's so great. And that's why this drink is just so fantastic. The whiskey sour proves that whiskey, doesn't only work in those kind of dark, brooding, spirit-forward cocktails with the vermouth and the Amaro and all that. It can be lifted, it can be brightened, it can be made incredibly elegant without losing its backbone.
Yeah, this is also the drink that should permanently end the argument over sour mix.
Yep, it's over, it's done. Because once you taste a proper whiskey sour, you realize that convenience, it was never an upgrade, it was just a shortcut.
Yeah, bad shortcut.
Yeah, bad.
Like using instant coffee at a jazz club.
Ooh, not good. This drink here, the whiskey sour, it matters, I think, beyond itself. It's one of those foundational templates, right, of the entire modern cocktail revival, and it's spawned so many great other offshoots of it. The Gold Rush, the Penicillin, and a dozen other modern classics that all descend from this structure.
Yeah, so this isn't just a cocktail; it's a family tree with better posture.
Yeah, it's one of the clearest examples in cocktail history that demonstrate what we care about here at Stave and Slide: structure, patience, expression inside the form.
In other words, bourbon and blues.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure. So next time, we head to New Orleans, where whiskey meets absinthe, bitters, and ritual. We're making the Sazerac.
That's so good. Now, before we go, just a reminder from both of us. Good cocktails are about the experience and not the volume.
So take your time, respect the proof, and sip responsibly. Cheers. From Stave and Slide.